WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Reaction continues to come in after the Starkville Board of Aldermen voted 4-3 Tuesday night to refuse a parade permit to Starkville Pride, an organization that supports LGBT rights. Vice Mayor Roy A. Perkins, along with Alderman Henry Vaughn, David Little, and Ben Carver, cast the no votes. That's the same word they used today when we asked if they wanted to share why they took that stance. But they may be the only ones who are not talking. It is a hot topic on Main Street and social media. Our Jory Talley joins us live in Starkville now with more.
A parade is normally a time for celebration, but tonight it's at the center of disappointment. And just like the Board of Aldermen, residents don't always agree. Bailey McDaniel is the director for Starkville Pride. It's her last year at Mississippi State, and she wanted to organize the city's very first Pride Parade to celebrate Pride Month.
This is a Pride Parade for people to be proud of the inclusion and diversity that is sustaining in Mississippi, even though our legislation is not saying that. So it's a parade for people, and I need them to realize that. It's not just about the LGBTQ plus community. It's about being proud of who we are as a human race and how we need to progress that and do better.
Eileen Carr-Tab has grown up in Starkville and says she's watched people in Starkville work to eliminate discrimination. That's why she's sad about the vote.
As a 54-year-old black woman that I remember, when this city was not all inclusive and fair to people of color. And that's why I saw that going.
Resident Jack Burton says he feels conflicted.
Personally, it's been something that has kind of been taking a forefront in my mind, just the idea of politics versus like our faith and stuff like that. So I identify as a Christian, and I'm still trying to figure out like how that should inform my decisions in politics and stuff like that.
But resident Tommy Lane says it is a God thing.
Our faith comes first, in my opinion, and to have a person to vote in the way that acknowledges Christ and someone to stand on their biblical values is really uplifting to me.
At the end of the day, McDaniel says she's not trying to change anyone's mind, but instead wants to celebrate with everyone about being proud of who we are as a human race.
I'm not trying to tell anyone that they're allowed to think that A is right, B is right, C is wrong.
McDaniel has announced plans to file a suit against the city. Reporting live in Starkville, Jory Talley, WCBI News.
All right, Jory, thanks so much for that report. The school massacre that left 17 Florida students dead has Alabama now considering a bill to arm school teachers. Representative Will Ainsworth of Gunnersville introduced the bill in the Alabama State House Tuesday. Our Victoria Bailey talked with Alabama residents about this law enforcement to find out what they think about the possibility of this move. She joins us in the studio with that story. Victoria.
To arm or not to arm? That is the question Alabama lawmakers on Goat Hill are considering in light of the latest school mass shooting.
We're going to have some real serious discussions about it before we should just start letting everybody bring a gun to school.
It's a bill generating conversation throughout the state. Alabama lawmaker Will Ainsworth of Marshall County proposed a bill that would give teachers the option to carry a firearm while on the job. But Lamar County Sheriff Hal Allred says maybe we should take a moment to consider before allowing any and everyone to tote.
If you had a certain designated people to have them and had the proper training such as firearms retention, active shooter training and stuff like that, that would be, I think, would be better than just everybody packing their pistol.
Under the proposed bill, teachers would be enabled to act with their firearm in the event of a life-threatening situation. But Alabama resident and parent Shauna Hawthorne says it poses the question of
whether or not they are willing to put themselves in harm's way. I don't know if there would be a benefit because the laws that they would put around that, it's not going to make it as accessible as, you've got someone entering the school with a weapon, ready to do harm, and where does that put the teacher? Are they able to access their weapon and load it before anyone in their classroom gets hurt or they get shot themselves.
An amendment introduced Wednesday would require any teacher and administration who opted to carry be required to go through 40 hours of training through the Alabama Peace Officers Standard Commission. Allred says standard training may not be enough.
They'd have to have some really specialized training because you can go out and shoot at a paper target, but the paper target's not shooting back.
Hawthorne says maybe guns aren't the answer, but something must be done.
There's a lot of schools in larger cities that have security guards that are armed standing at the doors. They've got metal detectors that you got to walk through. They've got wands that they're wanding the kids with. We don't have that in our county.
Now, under the proposal, the state will foot the bill for the mandatory training. Teachers and administrators would be responsible for the purchase of the firearm and ammunition.
All right, certainly some legislation we'll continue to watch. Time now to get a first look at our forecast. We'll turn it over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Right now in Tupelo, 59 degrees, a cool wind from the north. We have some showers moving on through northeast Mississippi. That first batch now lifting to the northeast of Tupelo. Some heavier rain, some embedded thunder and lightning out here towards Winona and Kilmichael right along and west of I-55. In the immediate Golden Triangle area, not a lot of activity, but we may still see a little bit of rain tonight. In general, as we go throughout the evening and overnight, the better rain chances to the west and northwest of the Golden Triangle area here. So that's the way it's looking. Lows will be from the mid-50s northwest to the mid-60s southeast. Your full forecast in just a few minutes.
As part of our series on Mississippi's recidivism rates beyond the bars, we look behind the bars to see what's being done to keep released prisoners from coming back. Our Parker King attended a ceremony at the Monroe County Jail today. He joins us in the studio now with more on that special program. Parker.
The ceremony was a graduation. Inmates completed a course that was the first of its kind for our area, taking steps closer to something that can be hard for released prisoners to find: a job.
Coming to, I enjoyed sharing my Saturdays.
Being released from prison is a second chance. When someone is willing to help an inmate make the most of that chance, it improves the possibility for success.
That's what I'm here for. I think that's part of the reason that they paid attention like they did, because they knew I wasn't here for the money, I was here for them.
Steve Crone is an adjunct instructor at Itawamba Community College. In the fall of 2017, he was asked a favor.
ICC called me in and said they were teaching a new program and that they might offer it in the jails, and I said, I sign me up, now tell me what it is.
The program, Pathway to Employment in Construction, is a 64-hour course teaching trade skills in construction. For 12 graduates at the Monroe County Jail in Aberdeen, that means they now have a certification that's recognized in all 50 states and 20 countries. All are welcome to take it.
That's one benefit that this program has, that you don't have to have a high school diploma to enroll into the program. You don't have to have any kind of previous experience. We want to help those who have never had a full-time job in life or don't have a skill.
Having a skill is valuable, but the half that makes the whole is having a job to go with it. The program provides that too.
We have 3 large construction companies in the area who committed into interviewing for potential employment those students who successfully completed the program.
With opportunity knocking, these inmates are anxious to see what the future holds.
Well, there's something new for us. It's something you don't expect to have.
Well, having a job is just going to keep you away from the same things you were doing, stay out of trouble, keep them on the right track.
It just gives me a chance to prove that I can do other stuff to mess up, give my family an opportunity to be proud of the stuff that I'm doing other than the bad decisions I've made.
For Crone, prisoners and addicts have a special place in his heart. He lost a son to drugs. Crone says this is his way to give back before it's too late.
If there's any way that anybody outside can distinguish the people inside that have actually tried to improve themselves while they were here, those are the people that are very likely going to succeed in the outside, and I suggest that people give them a second chance.
On top of this, the program is proud to have an employment rate of nearly 100% and at no taxpayer expense. For more information on this program and bringing it to your local jail or civic group, visit our website, wcbi.com.
All right, thanks, Parker. When we come back, our look at Severe Weather Awareness Week takes us to Smithville, where residents share memories of a devastating tornado. We'll be right back. April 27, 2011 is a date etched on the minds of many, especially people who live in Smithville. Much of the town was flattened by an EF5 tornado. The town has come back, and meteorologist Jacob Dickey brings us some of the incredible stories of survival.
Smithville, Mississippi is a small community of just a few hundred people in northern Monroe County. Like most small towns, everyone here knows everyone. The locals are always sure to welcome you to their quaint little community with open arms. But 7 years ago, the world learned about Smithville, Mississippi in the most tragic of ways.
Severe weather update.
Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey here. On April 27, 2011, Smithville's world was turned upside down. In this video provided by the Smithville Police Department, you can see an EF5 tornado with winds over 200 miles per hour barreling towards the town. Residents scrambled for cover as sirens blared, but the tornado spared nothing, leveling everything in its path. In its wake, the tornado killed mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, friends and loved ones. Countless others were injured, while for the survivors, the memories will never leave them. Little more than concrete slabs were left where families once called home. A car was thrown into the top of the Smithville water tower, its dent still a physical reminder of the scars Smithville wears. In spite of the devastation, stories of survival are still coming out of Smithville today. For Misty Hutchinson and her daughter Haley, the memories are still fresh in their minds.
We were watching the news and told us to take shelter, and we got in the middle of our house in the closet, and I grabbed a bicycle helmet and all the pillows from the couch and put them in there with us.
The tornado approached, heading straight for their home.
We started singing. That was the only thing I could think of to keep her calm. We started singing really loud. I remember that, and at one moment I did hear her scream, and it was the most terrifying experience, most terrifying sound I have ever heard in my life.
For Haley, the bicycle helmet may have saved her life.
And I remember us getting in, and it was just right there, so I grabbed it, and I grabbed the pillows off the couch. So grabbed that, and just hit the closet.
Wearing a bicycle helmet can help protect your head from flying debris and save your life if you are in a tornado. It's something Misty believes helped save her daughter's life.
It's something we still grab every time there's a tornado warning.
Her daughter, now 9 years old, wants all kids to know something.
Always grab a back helmet and pillows and get in the lowest floor of your house.
Reporting in Smithville, meteorologist Jacob Dickey, WCBI News.
WCBI Severe Weather Safety Tips are brought to you by Lee's Storm Shelters and Caldwell Banker West Realty Company. With Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Good to see you on this Wednesday evening. Wow, what a great day we had weather-wise. If you were around the Golden Triangle area, we were looking at sunshine and a cloudscape that looked more like spring or summer. Farther north, a little bit cooler, a little bit more unsettled. That's our Alpha Insurance time lapse today. And you can see some of those passing showers that moved down through the region. So let's talk about where the rain is right now. We have some rain showers here north and east of Tupelo here. A little bit of embedded thunder and lightning and some of this. Not a lot going on here across the Golden Triangle area. Back to the west, though, we do have a little bit more. Let's see, where are we going? There we go. Having a little clicker problems here tonight. Back to the west we go. You can see a little bit heavier rain with some embedded thunder lightning out towards Winona and Kilmichael, Eupora, just to your west here. So some pretty good rain. And farther to the southwest, too, some stronger storms. And those go to areas southeast of Jackson. So we have areas of showers and storms across the region. Right now, we have a frontal boundary splitting the region in two, cooler northwest, warmer southeast. And can't rule out an isolated strong storm this evening, but odds on that fairly low. We'll just keep you updated. We'll see what goes on, but not too concerned at this point. The heaviest rain, though, overall to the northwest of the Natchez Trace Parkway tonight and tomorrow, north and west of that frontal boundary. And you can see where that front is. 60s and low 70s to the southeast, Mid-50s, Northwest Oxford only 54, 46 in Memphis, 79 in Tuscaloosa. Weisboro upper 70s to mid-80s today. Records, new record highs here, 78 in Tupelo. Probably a new record in Columbus and Starkville too. We won't find that out officially until later on tonight. But warm today, warmer again tomorrow. 80s southeast, 70s northwest. So again, a little bit cooler back to the northwest. Here's Futurecast. You can see the showers that will be most concentrated back to the north and west as we go throughout the overnight. That will tend to shift back to the north as that frontal boundary retreats back to the north on Friday. And then we'll just see some isolated to scattered activity for Friday into Saturday. Now, Saturday night, there could be some more strong to severe storms in the region. Probably a better bet for some strong to severe storms Saturday night versus any isolated strong storm we may see this evening. So that's the way it's looking for the next couple of days here. We are mild through Saturday night, and then the 60s return on Sunday.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. When it comes to division, sometimes the answer is coming together. That's one of the lessons from our Educator of the Week, Autumn Bankhead. She teaches the 5th grade at Okolona Elementary School, and in her class, you can expect a lot of long division and group work to get it done. Bankhead says the best part about teaching is getting that light bulb moment from her students. If you'd like to nominate a teacher for our Educator of the Week, go to our website, wcbi.com.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The Bulldogs refuse to go quietly when it comes to a possible NCAA tournament bid. A big win over a top 25 RPI team in Texas A&M Tuesday still has the Bulldogs hanging around the bubble. The latest NCAA RPI rankings list the Bulldogs at 63, but the numbers really don't mean anything to this point because according to CBS Sports, teams that have been ranked in the 60s in the RPI have made the tournament, and teams that have been listed in the 20s have missed it as well. With the numbers changing all the time, the Bulldogs are just focused on one game at a time.
This is a huge win for us to come in on the road and get a RPI win of a 21. Their RPI is tremendous, and so this really helps us towards our goal of getting to the NCAA tournament.
I think we did a good job, defense and offense, using our quickness, just trying to get to the basket and defending them.
And we just want to come out and leave it all on the court and just keep the lead and just keep playing as a team and just bring the victory back to Starkville.
It's been mainly down for Ole Miss basketball the past 2 weeks, but the Rebels rallied in a big way, taking down Missouri on the road in overtime. The game was the first of the Tony Madlock's stretch of being head coach after Andy Kennedy's departure, but Madlock says the approach hasn't changed, even with the coaching change.
We've been working since June. They put in a lot of work, so it's all about them. They just play with a lot of passion, and so we came out on top. Yeah, that's what we talked about on Sunday. We talked about it was a fresh start, new beginning, and that's what it is. We're just going to go out, man. Like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I just told these guys, just play hard. That's all we're asking for. All the coaching staff has been great. We just put our minds together. That's all we want these guys to do.
The home stretch for college basketball. Can you believe it? Just 3 games left of the regular season. Let's take a look at Mississippi State. On that bubble, we just talked about it in the NCAA tournament. Some quality wins up possibly for Mississippi State coming up. Very favorable schedule. 2 out of 3 games at home inside the hump, where the Bulldogs have only lost 1 game this year. They'll host South Carolina on Saturday, then a big game with now 19th ranked Tennessee coming up next week before closing the season in Baton Rouge, taking on LSU. And for Ole Miss, trying to rally for Coach Madlock, trying to finish the season strong. They'll host Tennessee coming up on Saturday. The Vols doing a little bit of a Mississippi tour the next couple of weeks before going to Kentucky, and then after that they'll be hosting Vanderbilt to close out the season in the Pavilion. A heck of a week for Mississippi State head coach Vic Schaefer. Gets a little bit better. Schaefer was named one of 10 semifinalists for the Naismith National Coach of the Year. This year has been a record-breaking one for Schaefer and the Bulldogs, breaking school bests in wins in a row, conference wins, winning the program's first SEC regular season crown, and one of the women's college basketball's only 2 remaining undefeated teams. We'll have a little bit more from the Bulldogs coming up at 10 right here on WCBI Sports. Also, big news, of course, down in Jackson, Mississippi State taking on Jackson State in baseball. The first game with Gary Henderson in charge of the Bulldogs after Andy Canizaro's resigning. So that game was first pitch was supposed to be at 6, but Keith mentioned it, a little bit of rain down there in Jackson. So now first pitch is set between 7 and 7:15. You can go to Mississippi State's Twitter account. They have a link to a live stream for Jackson State to watch the game. We'll have highlights, of course, coming up at 10. We'll have the last 3 forecasts next.
Some rain and storms around the region right now. Some of the heaviest rain just back to the west along and slightly east of I-55 right now. So we'll watch this as we go throughout the evening hours. A lot of that will tend to shift back to the north tomorrow. And we're just going to be warm here for the next couple of days, Andrea. The next best chance for any strong storms probably Saturday evening and Saturday night.
Been feeling a lot like early summer around here.
And the blossoms are blooming right now.
All right, that is the news at 6 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening.